I purchased a premium refurbished PS4 from GameStop, and I'm gonna tear it down and show you what's inside. Every time I see a company that's advertising a refurbished electronic device, I always wonder what that means and if there's anything they do to them or if they just call them refurbished to get more money for them. So in this video, I'm going to take a look at a premium refurbished PS4 that I bought off of GameStop's website just a few days ago. But first, I have something I want to show you. If you don't want to see this and you haven't been following me, you might want to just skip ahead. But I have my first official TronicsFix merch. Here we go. What do you think? It's kind of hard to really tell without it being on, so now what do you think? Pretty good, huh? So these are available on my merch shelf down below the description, or I'll also post a link to my Teespring account so you can order these right off of my website if you like. I love them. I hope you love them. They're made for fixers, people like you and people like me who like to fix stuff. Actually, getting a little rough, huh? Let's fix that. Ah, that's a little better. Okay, now let's get to the unboxing and the disassembly of the GameStop refurbished PS4. I paid $249 for this, and it should have the PS4 along with the DualShock 4. So we've got some instructions, won't be needing those. And here we have the DualShock 4. Definitely got a good amount of wear on the thumbsticks, but it does look like it's the second version. It's got the light bar on the top here, so that's kind of cool. You can see it lighting up right there. I mean, I think you can see it. Yeah, there we go. And they do take the stickers off, that's interesting. The screws have definitely been taken off, and this one is a bit worn, especially around here. But overall, not bad. It's clean and, for the most part, actually, it's really not that clean. Let me show you guys. So we got a good amount of gunk in there, some right there. I mean, it's really not bad. Like, I wouldn't complain about it for sure, but it seems to be maybe a little bit gunkier than I would think, but not too bad overall. You can see how shiny this part is right here. But overall, not bad. Now we have an HDMI cable, and it looks good from what I can tell. Got a power cable. Actually a fairly long one, it looks like. Cool. And then we have the charge cable for the controller. Okay, so that's what we have on the first layer. Alright, so this is actually interesting. I wasn't expecting the 1215 version. Now, I thought I was buying the original version, but this is the 1215, so that's actually kind of cool. There aren't any GameStop stickers on the back, which is interesting. I've come across these before, but usually they have the GameStop stickers back there. So we've got the console unboxed. It's time to do what I do best, and let's get it apart. Take the hard drive cover off first. I do notice quite a bit of brown here, a little bit of brown here. Got some screws that aren't all the way screwed in right here. Got a black screw over here. Normally this is a silver screw, not the black, but it's really not that big of a deal. Let's get the bottom cover off. That's what I was afraid of on this one. This was from a smoker. We've got some gunk in here. Let me show you. So take our Q-tip and go through here. You'll be able to see just what I mean here in a second. That's what I mean. So all of this is the nasty tar and whatever that gets collected on the dust, and then it gets pulled into the console. And that's what we get out of it. And unfortunately, in my opinion, there's no way to ever get that smell all the way out. Luckily, this one doesn't smell like really bad, but with just an up-close whiff, you can easily tell that a smoker owned it. Nothing against smokers, I don't have a problem with smokers, but unfortunately, when a console is in the home of a heavy smoker, it just gets all collected with that smoke smell. So I was pretty happy with how it looked, but after smelling it, it's just... I wish you could smell it through the camera so you knew what I was talking about, but let's take a look and see the rest of it. Oh, looks like we're missing a screw there and a screw there. I mean, really not that big of a deal, but... All right. Time for the power supply to come out. And as you can see, just more of the brown. Okay, now one thing that I don't like here, there's only 2 screws in this disk drive. There should be one here, and one here. It'll probably stay in and be fine with just one, but you can see how this just flexes way more than it normally would. Same with over here, I'm assuming. Yeah, that's not too bad over there. It's gonna stay in fine, but at the same time, if I'm buying a premium refurbished PS4, I would think that it would at least have, you know, more screws in it than it has. Let's start taking this out and check out the motherboard. Same thing with the hard drive, still got that smoke smell. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try and forget that it has the smoke smell and just look at the rest of it, just so then we can get an overall view of what it would look like if it didn't have the smoke smell. Because for me, that's a pretty major thing. I don't wanna buy a refurbished product and have it come in and smell like smoke. As soon as I turn this on, it's gonna create a faint smoke smell throughout this room because the fan's gonna be blowing all that smell right into this room. Okay, now here, this to me is a lot more of a major problem. These thermal pads right here are just on the bottom of this, and they need to be up on these right here because that's what keeps these RAM chips cool. Without these, the RAM chips could get too hot and cause problems. So this is, in my opinion, there's no excuse for this sort of a thing. Oh, there's another one here. So we got one here, and one here. There's no reason for anything like this. It's not hard to put the thermal pads right where they go, and this could cause major issues if you're really running this thing hard. So far on this GameStop Refurbished PS4, I'm not that impressed. I paid $249 for this. If I would have bought this off of eBay and it came smelling like smoke, I would have asked for a refund. And since I do have a few days to return this one, I may just go ahead and return it because this, in my opinion, is not acceptable. But we're not done. Let's keep looking. And here we go with the motherboard. Let's see what we have here. So we've got a lot more of the brown smoke residue. Here's another big problem for me is the thermal paste is the original factory thermal paste. So let's take a look at this. You can usually tell it's going to be kind of dry and just kind of crumbly. So this has not been replaced either. Not necessarily something I would consider a requirement, but at the same time you're paying for a premium refurbished product and you're getting a used product. There's, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen so far, there's nothing that's been actually refurbished. Nothing's been done. I can tell that it does look like it's been cleaned, so I definitely give GameStop credit for that because these ones that have all the smoke in them can be really hard to get that smell out. And like I said, I don't think the smell ever will come out, but in my opinion, they did a pretty good job of cleaning it up. So this is the true test of how much cleaning's been done, the heatsink. And if you look carefully, it is nice and clean. There's no problems at all with the heatsink. Let's look at the fan. And here we have the fan. I'm going to zoom in on this so you can really get an idea of what it looks like. All right, so the major problem that I see here is all of these fan blades right over here, they have quite a bit of dust buildup with the tar and whatnot from the smoke. So I know I said I was going to try and forget about that, but this part is important. So let's do the Q-tip test again, and let me just show you what I mean. So that's from 3 fan blades. And that's just from the outside of the fan right here. So here's my problem with this, is the fan, that's what is obviously pushing air through the PS4. So the fan looks gross, it's got all of this nasty buildup on it, and it's going to be pushing that smell all the way through the PS4 into whatever room the PS4 is in. I'm going to get the fan put back together and the rest of the PS4 put back together, but we're not done. We still got to take a look at the disk drive. So even after all of that, we're completely missing one of the thermal pads. So unfortunately, this part is even worse than I thought. There's not even a thermal pad for one of them. So let's fix that too while we're at it. So we've gotten the top part back together, but it's time to take a look at the disk drive. And here we have the inside of the disk drive. I can tell already these rollers are going to need to be cleaned. There is something sticky going on here. Let me get you zoomed in. So there's something sticky there, don't know what that is. And the main thing is the laser lens. A lot of times with smoker consoles, this laser gets very cloudy, which makes it so eventually it just stops reading discs. I'm going to clean this one with a little bit of IPA. And that one doesn't look too bad. Let's do a cotton swab test of the rest of it. And just kind of what I thought, more dirt and gunk. Let's take the rollers out and we can swab those, see what those look like. Now the rollers won't affect the operation of your disk drive as far as how well it reads discs, but at some point it will stop pulling the discs in if they get dirty enough. So this one is definitely dirty, not as bad as I thought it would be. And same with that one. These ones really aren't that bad. I've seen some smoker consoles with really, really dirty disk drive rollers. But those ones aren't as bad as I thought they would be. So we'll get these back in. So I was hoping this was gonna be a good experience and this was gonna be a good console that I got from GameStop. However, I can definitely say, at least with this one experience that I've had with GameStop, I don't recommend their refurbished consoles. It was a smoker's console, it was missing thermal pads, it had the old crusty dry thermal paste, and it was also missing quite a few screws. I didn't count, but I would guess 5 to 10 screws. So I don't know if this is typical of GameStop refurbished consoles. Let me know in the comments section if you've had an experience with them. Also, let me know if you work there. I'd love to hear your experience in the comments section, or you can just reach out to me on my website at TronicsFix.com. Anyone who watched my first repair challenge series with Vince from the channel My Mate Vince, keep an eye on my channel. Next week is episode 1 in our next repair challenge series. I hope you'll watch and I hope you enjoy, and I hope you have a good day.